Hi there, welcome to this version of my live streams. I've got Basil joining us again, and I'll guarantee you there's plenty of faces that and names shown up already in the comments that we've seen everyone. So thanks very much to everybody who's joined. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let Basil pretend it's an X space and just crack on and ask me questions. So Basil, what do you want?
It's an X space.
If anybody else wants to ask me a question,
well, your blocks.
you just go and hit double Q. Yeah, so hit double Q before a question. If you stick it in the comments, we'll cover that as well. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to line up the full video so that as soon as this is done, it'll switch everybody over to what's called a premiere. Never done it before, so we're kind of doing that a bit, but I'm still working on it in the background while we're doing this. So please, if it goes pear-shaped, that'll no work, and you'll just need to go and watch it yourselves, which I'm sure you will. But I just thought I would try something a wee bit different tonight. So, Basil, what do you want to know?
Yeah, hi everyone. Obviously, Craig's gone down to Calais. Whose crazy idea was that? I have no idea. But yeah, we were chatting and we thought, well, you know,
some idiot mouse put a cushion in my head and off I went.
Yeah, I convinced him to go, guys. But yeah, no, fair play to you, mate. You know what? Just the fact that when you told people you were going, how many horror stories we heard about the place and how dangerous it was and all the rest of it. And you've gone there, which is just fantastic. So fair play to you, mate. I'm looking through the questions right now.
I just add something just so everybody doesn't fear for my safety. I'm not in Calais the now, right? I'm somewhere else and I'm safe and I'm fine, but I'm not in Calais. And I might be going somewhere else because a journalist that I know sent me a message saying I didn't know you were near here and he's somewhere else. It's not too far. So I might go and meet up with him. Anyway, I'm not in Calais as we speak.
Fantastic. He's in a place unknown. Right. Anyway, yeah, I've seen there's a few comments coming already. I will get through the questions. If anyone wants to ask a question of Craig, if you just put QQ in front of your comment, I will read it out for you and make sure he gets a chance to answer it. Craig, the question I want to ask is, what inspired you? Forget the conversation we had. Let's talk about the story of what's going on in Calais and Dover. What inspired you to go down there?
Very odd, and I was talking to this to somebody about this in Dover yesterday. I had a great chat, 2 long chats with a guy who's he was, I don't like to give too much of a guy for reasons that will remain private, couldn't go on camera with me, but he had a job that works at the harbour, quite a high level, and he asked me as well, he said, why did you come all the way down here? And it was bonkers, you know, things that trigger me sometimes, Basil, and it was, when we're doing the flotilla to replay the Dunkirk evacuation during the war, and there was migrant boats out there at the same time, and they made that flotilla go a 2-mile detour away from the route that it was taking to follow in the footsteps of those who had done so during the war. And it just I went, no, I don't like this. If there's anything I can do, you know, I'm not trying to fight against that. I just, the whole thing got to me. And that was one of the drivers. And then when you and I were talking about it, you put the idea in my head. Just the same as with Ballymena. I just thought, I'll get it, I'm going. And that was it.
Just to let everyone know as well, just in case you missed that at the start, because more people joining, there is going to be a video at the end of this of your time in Calais. Is that right?
Well, what I'm trying to do is, there's a button that I've never used before, and it says that you can set a premiere for your thing after a live. So the idea is we do the live, and hopefully it works. And the video goes public, but you guys will be taken straight to it.
Fantastic, right? So yeah, so you went. Obviously, you started off in Dover. Can you just? We saw the video from yesterday. You did in Dover. Can you maybe tell us a little bit about what you saw and what your experiences were like? Did you meet anyone interesting while you were there?
Yeah, I met loads of interesting people. I met a guy I've already spoke to that worked at the harbour. Then I met some people who work in the number counting, not the Home Office number counting, but the number counting. You feed that into people. I heard about on GB News the day before I went down. The guy for GB News was explaining how there's people there in the count the people coming off the boat, because the border force pick them up and drop them off. They changed it. They used to drop them off at our LI station, which is only a pier away from this new one they've got, which is totally secluded. Apart from you can get them out and watch down, and these guys have got like mad cameras, the size of a car for a zoom lens and stuff. And it was just so the guy that I spoke to at the harbour, he went, by the way, there's a boat coming in. How do you know? He get tipped off with somebody that was watching. And he went, if you go up there, you'll see it. And I shot up to the vantage point. And while I was there and I was watching all this, the ferries going on and the amount of haulage stuff that goes out of Dover, the thought just, so nobody's talking about stories anymore. So you've got three types of arrivals illegally. You've got the ones that I was watching yesterday, which are, getting picked up out of the water by our border force. RNLI are still involved only if there's risk of life. If conditions were bad or there's a boat with a problem, then RNLI will still go out and help them. But 90% is done with border force. And so when they bring them in to Dover in this sort of secluded bit of the pier, and that was fascinating to watch. And then you see the whole thing. There's tents, and they take them in there and they get them clothes, and then buses come and pick them up and take them up to Marston to start the whole process. It's mind blowing. But they're the only ones that are getting counted. We've also got illegal boats that don't get intercepted because they come in at night and they come in before daybreak. And then you've got stowaways. So all these illegals, and we're only getting a number for one lot, and that's the ones that were dropped in front of my eyes yesterday. And yesterday, I left there about 2 o'clock. I was done in a poor sleep the night before. I'd arrived down and I went to Sandwich the night before, which is about 10-15 minutes away, and I struggled to sleep. I'd been in the car for about 12 hours. I had to do some running about in Glasgow before I left, and then I was in the car, obviously, driving all the way down there. So it was quite strenuous, and I thought I would get to sleep, but I just did all this stuff. I was like, I know what I'm doing in the next 40 hours, and nobody else does. Well, only a handful of people knew. And I had all these thoughts and some fears, I'll be honest with you, concerns going through my head. So I slept for about 2-3 hours on that'd have been Monday and Tuesday. So when I was in Dover, I was just burnt out. So I stayed there about 2 or 3 o'clock, and I went to a hotel along, and where did I go? Stay Dover the second night. Beautiful place just outside Folkestone, Blythe. So when I went in there, I managed to get all my stuff together, produced a video, edited a video, put it out, and I fell asleep about 8:30. So I was up this morning, crack of dawn, 5 o'clock or something, and caught the ferry not long after. So that was kind of yesterday, and it was nuts. Yesterday, it feels as if I've been away for a week.
I was going to ask, when you mentioned the RNLI, right? I know they're only a small part of this, but they are still a part of it. Now, Border Force, people will be surprised to know we even have a Border Force. We do pay for that out of taxpayer money. That's infuriating, but you can change the government. The RNLI is a charity that, I've donated to for years. And when you see those people get involved and you see Border Force get involved and all the rest of it, you think, do these people sign up for this? Did they sign up to go out there and go and take migrants and bring them into shore and all the rest of it? Are they happy about it? Did you speak to any of these people and ask them about that? Or do you yourself have any conflicts over this kind of thing and what you think of the situation?
I told the story in the video from Dover that I put out last night by the guy that works in the harbour that was talking to me and gave me a lot of great intelligence. And he was saying RNLI. The reason RNLI started, the boats were just randomly popping up on beaches right across the south coast, so residents were unhappy. So they thought, well, it'd be better if we pick them up, we take them at the same point, then we can process them. So that's why RNLI get involved in the first place, and that kind of makes sense. Can understand that. The public weren't happy with that. Donations dropped dramatically, so that's why they changed it to Border Force doing it. Now, somebody also suggested to me that because of the drop and because they're still doing some of the work, the government are now paying RNLI, which in essence I don't really have a big problem with. Government funding a thing that's a good thing, it saves lives, but it's not doing the purpose that it was originally doing, and that's people who are out, making a living, holiday makers, fishermen that get hit the stress. We're picking people up that come into the water with idiotic boats that are only fit for purpose. I asked the guy, the harbour guy, who's an experienced seaman. I said, there's 60 to 80 people in one of these boats. How many would you safely put in one? And his answer was 0. I'm no fit for putting
Wow.
in.
Wow.
Yeah. So, these guys are going in these craft, and they shouldn't be even going, out of the river, never mind try to cross the channel. So yeah, the whole thing's a bit bonkers. So the fact that the government giving money to RNLI, alleged, I kind of don't have that big an issue with, but when you factor in the reason that they haven't given money, the whole thing stinks and it's absolutely bonkers.
Yeah, it's clearly an element of corruption. Just to remind people, because more people are joining the chat. Obviously, if you put a question in the comments, we will get to them. I'll make sure Craig gets them. I'll read them out to Craig, and he can obviously answer them. Right. So then, obviously, you took did you take the ferry over to Calais? Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything interesting happen on there? Did you meet
Yeah.
anyone who was doing sort of similar things to you, or anything like that, or workers for this kind of stuff?
No, I was trying to get to speak to some of the lorry drivers. I thought that would be interesting to see, some feedback on the stowaway situation just now. But I bumped into a couple, and they were foreigners, so they couldn't really good command
Yeah.
English. And I
And
didn't
then
realise till I came out, the floor above us, there's a separate lounge for the drivers, which is why probably there wasn't all that many around about the normal passengers. So I kind of shot myself in the foot, but I'm going to try and get some intelligence with that in the next 24 hours.
right, okay. And obviously, when you land in France on the Calais shore, what was your initial reaction of the place? What was the first thing that, I mean, is it literally as you arrive, you just see it all? Or was it like, how did you, that was the first hour go?
I mean, Calais right next to the Calais port, but oddly enough, when you come out, they sort of put you in the motorway. So you go sort of around Calais, and then you can follow the signs to get into town centre. In the video that's going out tonight, mate, I thought I'm going to find it difficult finding people and finding footage, right? I was literally 2 minutes into Calais, and beautiful. There's a river running through it, and then it sort of splits into two. And I had to get a double take because I was like, I've not just seen that. There's tents there. There's no lot. There's what 5 you'll see in the video. Right in the
Sorry, in
town,
the town centre?
centre, yeah.
Oh,
I'm like, what? So I drove round and parked at the other side. And as I came out, there was another river forking off it, which I couldn't see when I came down the first side, because I came down one side of the river. I saw and I went, that can't be tents. We're in the town centre. So they were sort of below the road on this sort of embankment. So I drove down, crossed the bridge, and as I was coming back, I could see the bridge that I drove over initially.
mhm.
And underneath that, there was just groups of immigrants, and they're hanging their washing it. So there was like railings on the river, and I'm like, and I didn't even realise that as I was filming that, there's another guy who appears at the same side as me, and there's like a locked gate, and he's trying to tamper with the gate, and I didn't realise it until I was editing the video that there's this guy appears at the bottom. And I'm like, this is bonkers. And then there was workmen across the road, three French guys. The youngest one kind of spoke about English, and I was saying to him, "What's going on? Is this not?" They're like, "Yeah, it's normal, absolutely normal. They kind of just pop up all over the gaff and just don't care. Nobody does anything."
Wow.
I'm not sure if maybe the French are like, you know what, we'll only need to put up with them for a certain amount of time, and then they'll bugger off to Britain, and that's kind of
Mhm.
why they don't bother. But that was me 2 minutes into Calais, and I was thinking as well. I was driving into Calais, and I thought, why am I going into town centre? There'll be nobody there. But I thought, let's just get my bearings, and I'll take it for there.
Mhm.
And literally 2 minutes into the town, there's a temporary mini camp set up. And
And did you?
they did just get mad. And anybody that watches the video, see if you're only going to make sure you stay at the end, because the last, I think it's a half-hour video. See the last 12 minutes, it'll blow your mind. And I'll show you a wee clip of it. That's what we'll do, right? Of what's coming in this video. And I'm still stunned. I lived this today. And then when I was sitting there at the video and I put all my footage out, I bloody forgot about half the footage. There was that much here. Just folk wandering a bit and heading to places, and there's another bit in the video I spoke to. There was one point, there was about 8 to 10 African looking people, evidently migrants. You could see that they were carrying stuff, big bulky bags. all their possessions in it. And we were at a bus stop, and then I noticed this was about 10 minutes south of Calais in a beautiful wee village. Can't remember the name of it. Lovely wee place. And I saw 3 or 4 cops. Well, there was 3 originally and ended up 6 by the time I was finished talking to them. So I thought, what's going on? Is something going to kick off here? So I drove past the cops, pulled in, went back to speak to them, and they were like, no, we're just waiting for a bus to get to Calais. So we're just here to make sure they're all right and make sure, they don't do anything stupid and nobody does anything stupid to them. And I was like, okay. So I said, look, I'm here, this is what I'm doing. Where can I find camps? And they went, anywhere between Dunkirk and Boulogne. I went, what? So the guy opened up his maps, the cop, they went there, Bourgogne. I can remember it. I put a map out on the video. And I went, are you kidding me on? He went, no, they're just scattered from there all the way up to Dunkirk and sometimes past Dunkirk almost to get into Belgium. I was like, that's 45, 50 mile worth of coastline. And that's as a crow flies. The coastline doesn't do that. And I was like, this is insanity. Absolutely insanity. So you just think it's Calais and it's one bit. It's not. It's 45, 50 mile. And I don't know how much, if you measured the actual coastline, it could be double that. I don't know. But as a crow flies between the 2 towns that you mentioned. And he's like, there's camps everywhere. And then I came up further, I came north again. And I turned the corner and I saw 2 or 3 guys who evidently were migrants. Somebody tipped me off that there's a supermarket that they all go to, and they just buy bulk of water and big, 100 baguettes. So I was making my way there, and I saw these 2 guys. I thought, oh, they're coming back from that supermarket that I get tipped off. And I seen them, and then I looked, and there was 4 or 5 walking through a field to they weren't walking the same direction, but as if they were walking towards the same point. I thought, what's going on here? So I done a U-turn and I turned up this road. And I couldn't describe it. I mean, I sent you the footage after I took it, Basils, and you probably the same. That doesn't look real. It was just hundreds of people. And I'll try and play it now if you can bear with me, because I'm rotten at this, but I'll try and put it on the screen just to play as a wee 5 minutes in a video. So this might not go as planned, but if I do that, and then I go into can't. Is that showing full screen now, Basil?
Yeah, it is, mate. Go on. Sound's not coming through, by the way.
So it's not working?
Sound's not coming through.
Is that working?
No. Sound must just be on your mic right now and not playing on the screen. You might have to change something on StreamYard to... No. You might have to change something on StreamYard, mate, to change where the sound's coming from. No.
Don't really know where to go for here.
Well, I've got more questions to ask you. Sorry about that. Obviously, it didn't work. I mean, we're going to watch the video anyway, aren't we? Straight after this. So
you crack on. Yeah, I just wanted to give folk because I believe this is one of my best ever videos. I'm quite proud of it. But the second half of it is just mental. The first half's good. The second half's just bonkers. I was just wanting to give folk a wee snap it off so that they go, Christ, I will need to watch the end of that. It's just mental. It's absolutely bonkers. But if I can't do it, I could probably have done it if I had more running time. But just try one more thing. Oh, also share tab audio. Right, there we go. Thanks. I think I might have fixed it. I don't know if you hear this. I don't.
Go on, play it. I'm not seeing or hearing anything. If something's playing, it's not showing on screen. Oh, there we go.
I had travelled around not that long,
You hear
not
it?
that big an area in the
Yeah.
footage you've just seen. However, I was just about to give up. I was just about to go and check into my hotel and get myself sorted for my journey home early tomorrow. And what I seen just blew my mind. And I thought, well, where did they sleep? And then I started part 2 of my journey. What I found wasn't a big, massive tented village. What I found was numerous small tented villages. Almost every time you turned a corner in that rural setting, you came by another one with maybe 5, 6 temporary tents, some normal tents. I've never seen any people, but you've seen the kids out. There are obviously a number of them staying in those forests as well. And it's not far off the road. One of them, I was passing in a dual carriageway. And the sights I'm about to show you, I seen from my own eyes, and they shocked me and rocked me to the core. For the numbers that must be here waiting to come into our country frightened the life out of me. What I'm about to show you is all within 1 to 2 mile radius of the massive group that I seen receiving aid that made me go in a circumference round it. And if this doesn't shock you, nothing will.
Mate, it's really struggling this. It's just not streaming very well at all. Sorry, it was really slow, mate. And it wasn't. No, mate, it was really slow, and it wasn't. I think it was lagging on my screen. I don't know if it was for everyone else, but it's just struggling to get through. But
bear in mind, I'm sitting in free Wi-Fi. I'm punching some free Wi-Fi,
look,
mate. So,
we're gonna watch the video anyway shortly. So if we if we wrap up these questions, can we go to the video shortly?
I think so. I'm going to. I just talk on, mate, and I'll get a wee script about
So do you want me to read these questions out from people to you, or do you want me just to talk to people?
No, crack on. Just ask me whatever you want. It should be ready to go. Premier when we.
N Sturgeon, I assume it's. Thanks for joining us, Nicola. N Sturgeon says, "Hiya, Craig. I think the Home Office reported 490 illegal migrants crossed today. Just wonder if you think that's about right. Stay safe and well."
Well, I didn't hear the figures from yesterday. Do you know what the figures were yesterday? And I'll tell you why I'm asking.
I don't.
Right. I saw 250 with my own eyes, and I left at 2:00 in the afternoon.
Wow.
And that was 4 boats. And most of the boats went back out. So none of the boats were there. And I think there's 4, at least 3 border force boats there. So you tell me, mate. I don't believe the figures, because the figures are only taking in one entry point. They're not taking in the ones that come during the night and land in beaches, because that's still happening. They don't take into account the ones that are stowaways, because that's still happening. So the official figures are figures, but from one entry point.
Mental. Another one that came through was, "Hi Craig, did you find any other areas where boats are coming in that is not being reported?" You actually know about this, don't you? Because one of our mutual people who we know told you a story, didn't they?
Is that?
Coming up the lakes.
Oh yeah, I'm getting mixed reports on that. There's some people suggesting that they don't all land in beaches, and some of them just go straight up rivers. But other people that I know that I met yesterday are saying it's a lot of nonsense. Everybody's if they get here, they're dropping in beaches. But some people are suggesting they were going up into the rivers and going up into towns away from the coast. But what this guy suggested is it might be missed quoting that might be not people that are getting smuggled into these towns, other nefarious behaviours.
Another question was, do you think we can stop this and then possibly start deporting?
We could stop this tomorrow.
Yeah.
You could stop it tomorrow. I could stop it tomorrow. I've got enough in my head to stop this tomorrow. And that's why I believe that there's something stopping people stopping it. And when you remember that 28 years worth of governments that have been voted in my manifesto saying that they're going to reduce immigration, and they've always not done that. Kind of think they want to do it as well, but other people aren't. And I think it's because we've created an industry now with this whole thing, you know, with the hotels and the lawyers and the counsellors and the interpreters and the people that supply asylum seekers furniture when they get put into the house, and the people who own the houses. And it's just a big, horrible money-making machine now. It's actually an industry. And I kind of think that's where we're at. I think that's why those that are in power. And if you think of people on property alone, if we didn't have these people and we deported everybody, we'd have lots of empty houses. So the value of houses would go down, which would be great for people wanting it on the market. And also the value of rentals would go down. And a lot of people with a lot of big portfolios will want that. And I would imagine some of these people that wouldn't want that probably contribute to donations to parties and politicians. But I kind of think, you know, yeah, we can stop it, but we've got the wrong people in charge to stop it. And that's not just Labour, by the way, because Tories had 14 years short it before them.
Another question that came in from Robert McNair was, how involved would you say is the NGO Circle in the transport of these people via RNLI and Border Force?
I hadn't considered that. I don't know, is the honest answer. They could be or they could not be. I don't know. I think sometimes because often conspiracy theories become reality, or sometimes we come up with too many. There could be a connection, but I think for that to be true would be quite mental.
I've just bought, this is Champagne Monologues. I've just bought a new passport. It was £100 almost. Why should we be forced to pay and comply with these freeloaders are coming here illegally and we pay for them?
Yeah. Do you know what I might do when I go home? Refuse to show my passport. No, I'm not sure.
just see if you can get in. See if you get put in a hotel and you get free food and free clothes, and you'll get everything sorted out.
Yeah, I mean, I had to give it to the French authorities in Dover. Funnily enough, the passport was checked by the French authorities before you go on the boat, which meant that you come off the boat, you're just straight in the motorway, so it's quite a good thing. But I was kind of thinking, why didn't you show it on the way back? I saw 250 people come here yesterday that didn't have a passport, allegedly. They didn't show any identification, but I need it as a British citizen. I'll see how mischievous I feel when I get to passport control.
Question from Andy McGill. I wonder what France is doing with these with their illegal groups. Do they house them, pay them, or is it just hope they move on to the UK? Well, also, I wonder how bad these illegal camps are. Are the cops managing it?
Something I was told yesterday, and I'm kind of accepting it for the truth for the now, is they give them a certificate to allow them free travel. So they come here. They get to the border, they get to the north coast of France, and then try and get it back. And I kind of think it's a double-edged sword for them, isn't it? They kind of will be quite happy when they leave their shores, but they don't want them to die. So it must be difficult being French.
We've got questions from, just scrolling down, trying to find the next one. For QQ, I've got a question for you. What was the most harrowing thing you saw today that really shocked you, and you went, "This is just horrendous"?
When I turned that corner, Basil, I phoned you
Yeah.
10 minutes after it, and I thought, I can't believe what I've just seen. And I
Mhm.
hope people watch a video. It's about maybe 2/3 of the way through. I just turned around a corner, and I must have practically drove into this thing with about 500 people. And I thought, shit. And I thought, I've came across a camp, but it wasn't a camp because there was no tents. And then I thought, what is going on? And then I doubled back, I came back, and they'd put massive big cubes, and they were drawing water off, and were washing their feet and drinking. In fact, they weren't drinking it, they were all going to the supermarket to buy water to drink, actually. They're just washing in it. And then on the other side, I don't know what was going on, but both sides of the road. And you'll see it in the video. So I looked to the left first and I think, Jesus, that was a bit scary. And then I panicked and I thought, there's more there. And there was some sort of aid workers, they had white vests on. Giving them what, I don't know. But when I thought, oh, where did, and that's why I started going in circumferences round the place to go, well, they must have walked it here, right? I saw them. Just saw these people going in this sort of general direction. I thought, what the hell's going on here? Guys walking down the motorway in that direction, guys walking through a field from over here. And I literally turned around, you'll see in the video, I turned around the corner and I thought, what the is this? So it was just mad. And then I went back about half an hour later, and the ones that had been there had obviously were starting to leave. There was more coming. I thought, oh, there's still 500 here. Is that another 500? I don't know. And how many times did they? And that was in one part of this 45-mile stretch that the cops told me about. So many times is that replicating? But I'm meant to believe there's 250, 300 coming in a day here. I'm struggling with that. I genuinely am.
Another question that came in, there's a few people making jokes about you coming back on a dinghy, which is fair play. Is there any way, someone said, well, let's get the police off your back if you come back on a dinghy. But is there any way we can vote this away before the ball breaks and it's just a full-blown invasion?
Listen, there is a daft way, right? And that's from our party, the SDP, but I think it's highly unlikely that we'll get into, William Cloughson would be a fantastic Prime Minister, but I don't kind of think that's going to happen in the next election. Because our policy is, we send everybody to the Ascension Islands. It comes in illegally, and we own the Ascension Islands, so we're not sending it to another country. It's the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, and I think that'd be a great deterrent. And then we've got a zero policy. If you're here illegally, we deport.
Yeah,
and that's kind of what it's going to take. But I can't see any of the three parties that could probably win an election or possibly win an election doing that. I can't. What do we do?
I'll tell you now. What I'd like to see you in Holyrood, right? And the reason why is because right now in Holyrood, every single party that's in there believes in mass immigration or has facilitated it. The Tories have come out recently saying, actually, we might have messed that one up. But the truth is they facilitated for decades. You've got Reform who... Nigel said himself on camera, we're not going to mass deport people. So it will be, and let's be honest, right? It depends on what day of the week it is, depends on what Reform say the policy is going to be, because they haven't got anything written down. Whereas at least the SDP does have a policy you can hang your hat on. And it would be nice to see you in Holyrood making the case that mass immigration has not been a good thing and it needs to stop. And Scotland cannot be taking any more of this burden.
Yeah, bear in mind it's not a devolved power to Holyrood. But that's not stopped the SNP pestering Westminster as recently as the last couple of months to have a Scottish visa sent, and he'd be like, just shut up. We're not going to do that, right? You called a housing crisis 6 or 8 months ago because we don't have enough houses. Now you're asking Westminster to send more people here. You're absolutely bonkers. So, that's kind of where we are. But yeah, I mean, listen, who knows what will happen in the life of Craig Houston? I never thought 18 months ago I was going to stand for election, join a party and be the leader of that party in Scotland. You know what I mean? So who knows? You know what I mean? I might get in there and think I can do some help, and then 3 or 4 years later we're going to have a general election. And if there's enough people supporting me, then who's to say I couldn't stand in a constituency for Westminster? Because you can do double jobs. You don't get paid twice, thankfully. So that'd be a bit embarrassing, but you can work in both houses. And if I can cause a bit of bother in Hollywood then? I don't know. I'm just talking hypothetically, Basil. I might get in and hate the thing and know what a politician ever again in my life. But I don't. Who knows? Who knows? But yeah, can we stop it? Yeah, can be stopped. Can be stopped very easily.
Question from Paul in Wales: would you ever consider leaving the UK?
Yeah, I would.
Why is that?
That's possible. I'm just a guy that's always had that notion. But just I'd like to live abroad for a few years. But if I got that, if I failed to get into Holyrood and I didn't see much traction in Westminster to help this, I might need to say, do you know what, I tried. Can't really do it without being in Holyrood. I can kind of affect it more in Holyrood than not being in Holyrood. So if that went wrong and I didn't get elected and then things started to get worse, then and you'd feel as if I was a bit of a shite bag of doing that and leaving. I don't know.
Yeah. Question from another Nicola Sturgeon. This one must be the real one this time. Did you see lots of women and children there?
I did see women and children, but I would say the men were 90+% of what I seen. Very, very few. I think if I was to put a guarantee on the hundreds, if not thousands of people, wait to see the video, right? It'll just blow your mind the amount of people I came across. Just mental. And without watching the video and looking dead closely at every single person in it, I could guarantee you that I seen 2 women and I saw 1 child. The rest of it would just be guesses. Hundreds, if not thousands, I've seen.
There's another question here from Daz T. Did you see any Palestine flags over in the camps or anything? Anyone waving?
No, the only thing I seen in it, you'll see it in the video. I drove into the supermarket and what's that big scarf, the Arab scarf, the black and white pattern thing. There was a guy, you see it, you need to know it's coming, you'll see it. It's a bit of shit footage, and if it wasn't for the fact he was wrapping one around his neck at the time, I wouldn't even have put it in the video. And by the way, the stuff that's in the video isn't every bit of fucking footage I took of it, right? It's just mind blowing. He was wrapping, he was in the car park, but the rest of them, I think because there's sort of some friction between groups, I think the majority that I seen looked like they were East African. Right, that's vast majority, because East Africans and West Africans are different stature. I'm the shape of a West African. East Africans normally a bit thinner and taller. So I would suggest that probably mostly them. There were a couple of other people that could have been maybe Romani, a couple as I seen it might have been maybe Pakistani, Afghan, but the vast majority that I came across today were I would suggest that East African. You might go on another part of that 45-mile stretch and you might see that that's what I'm guessing, that they're probably more, grouped and they'll be a bit more tribal where they go.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty much all of the questions, bar from some people asking you for some Candy Rock that can bring them back. I was just wondering, so I'm guessing you're not talking about your plans over the next few days of what you're going to do, where you go next, etc. That's cool. But there's more to watch, right? There's more coming, yeah?
I need to apologise to folk, right? I knew I was coming I was going to Calais, obviously before I got here. And when I put out yesterday's video when I was in Dover, I was saying I was going to do something in Dover. That was, I knew I was lying to people and I don't like lying, but I kind of thought, I don't really like to give folk advance notice that I will be in Calais tomorrow, because I've upset a few folk, I think, over the last couple of weeks. So that was why I told a wee fib in the Dover video. But I will be back in Dover soon, without being too much away. And I've got somewhere else to go between now and Dover. And I'll try and get home at some point this week. It would be quite nice, but this is just blowing my mind, mate.
Well, that's all my questions as well, mate. I don't know if there's anything you want to say before you go on to the
just
video.
listen.
Yeah.
Thanks very much to everybody that's. You need to go and watch the videos, please, because YouTube do monetize me and I do get paid for the videos. And I'm right few quid out of pocket in this trip. So please go watch the videos. Don't skip the light adverts if you get some. And share the bloody life out of them. And hopefully I'll get recouped what I've put into this trip. And that'll let me do more going forward.
Well, thanks for everything you do, Craig, and I enjoy your videos, and I know all these people do as well. So I'm looking forward to watching this one. And safe travels, mate. Take care of yourself.
Well, I'm going to end the stream now. I hope it takes the people who are watching straight into the premiere of the video. If not, apologise. I've just ticked the wrong box, but I kind of think that's what's meant to happen next. So hopefully you enjoy it. Click the like button, put more comments in that, because that'll help drive the algorithm, and just share the life at it, because I would love to do this. Not maybe here again, but things like this where I can just go at the drop of a hat, knowing that I've spent a few quid, but with people watching in the adverts, it will get me recoup it, because I've got bills to pay like everybody else. So the more you watch it, the more you share it. Please certainly do that. It'd be great. But you finished, Basil?
Yeah, honestly, mate, I've got nothing else to ask. I just want to see the video now.
Aye. So listen, guys, thanks very much. And as I say in all my videos, like, share, comment, subscribe if you've not already done it, and hit the notifications bell. But most important thing, unless you're the type of person that thinks bringing all these people, and these people, by the way, they're not all bad people, right? We just can't take any more, right? But unless you're the type of person that thinks this is good for Britain and we should keep doing it, and all these people that are making millionaires off the back of this, then know you. But everyone else, have a great day. Cheerio, bye now.